What community has the least access to wealth? It's black people.
And whose fault is that? Black people.
And if you're here with college-age students who are clearly going to know less about these topics than you when you do this for a living, you're kind of taking advantage of them, no?
You sound like a black guy, more victimness. I'm assuming off of what you're saying, you probably voted for Kamala.
Well, actually, I was a former Republican, and I regret being a Republican.
Fantastic. But she lost, so it is Trump's America now.
I don't care.
Okay, well, she lost.
I highly recommend you read a history book about the conflicts that have been going on.
I highly recommend you read her book where she admitted that Myron Gaines and Andrew Tate hurt her ability to win the presidency.
Yeah, because people like you are
Page
very
176.
stupid.
Today is October 14th. As you guys know, today is Charlie Kirk's birthday. So we are doing this second stream in remembrance of him. The pussy assassin that shot him thought they killed him, but they couldn't kill him actually because he's immoral and he's going to live in infamy. And at the end of the day, when you're a nobody, you get killed. When you're somebody, you get assassinated. And we know for a fact that Charlie got assassinated. So we're doing this here in his memory. We're going to continue to do this. These radical leftists or whoever it is that want to kill conservatives, they're not going to stop us from telling the truth. Women are stupid. Jews control America. Blacks commit too many goddamn crimes. A lot of Muslims are terrorists. Indians stink. And just because it's very important to say it again, women are stupid. So, with that said, and ICE did nothing wrong. So we're going to be out here for a little bit. Like I said before, we're going to run the amplified sound here soon. But if anyone has a question, comment, disagreement, whatever it may be, feel free to walk up to the mic. It's an open mic. We can have discussion. Well, since everyone's a little scared, the other thing also to note. Oh, okay. What's up, man? What's up?
What do you think fat people should do to lose weight?
Control their calories is the easiest way,
Yeah.
and then exercise. I think if I was the Führer or President of the United States, either or, the leader, I would put all the fat people in concentration camps because obesity is a problem, and we need to get them in a camp where they concentrate on their health and diet and exercise. And, that's what I would do. Because I think obesity is actually one of the worst things that we have going on in the United States, and it leads to heart disease, which is the number one killer.
What would you say to someone who doesn't want to lose weight? They don't think it's a problem to their health.
To the camp you go.
All right, good shit.
Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah, I forgot to mention that. Fuck fat people. That's another thing I forgot to say. Obesity is completely unacceptable. I don't know how we don't make fun of fat people more. We need to bring back fat shaming. We need to bring back fat shaming and slut shaming. This country would instantly improve if the fat dudes lost weight and the women got back in the kitchen and weren't 304s. So, look, you get looking at me like I'm crazy. Ladies, you're welcome to walk up to the mic if you have a disagreement and change my mind. But those are the different positions that we have. And guys, Jacob is doing me a solid right now. He's going to send me all the chats from the last stream so I can have them here, and I'll go through them. And then also, as you guys know, Sean's live on monitoring his YouTube. I'm on YouTube too, but you can super chat on Sean's on Uncensored America if you guys want to get involved in the show. We're live on Rumble, YouTube, all the platforms. I'm monitoring it from my 2 drug dealer phones. So, also, just so you guys know, we got a packed schedule this week. We're here at Penn State. We're going to go to... It looks like we got someone in the back that's terrified to come on the mic. He has something to say, but he doesn't want to come on. I will say this, though, about leftists and liberals. If you're a leftist, raise your hand. Okay, cool. Why is it that, and there's definitely more of you guys are just scared, I could see. Why is it that leftists are always scared to have conversations with conservatives? Have you guys noticed that? Like they'd rather just, call you a bigot or a Nazi or a racist, which might be true, but they don't want to actually debate your ideas, right? So I always find it interesting how liberals, just so you guys know, we're live streaming, which means I can't clip you. This is all here. Like it's all in its totality. There is no clipping or clip farming or anything like that. So there's nothing to fear. No one can take you out of context or make you look crazy. The only person that can make themselves look crazy is yourself. But I find it interesting because earlier today, right, since the audience here is watching, if you guys remember Bandana Man that was here earlier, I guess he's like an Antifa guy or some shit. As they were setting up, he was giving them a lot of grief. He didn't even know who the speaker was going to be, and he already was having a problem as soon as he saw Uncensored America. And I get on the set, and I tell him, hey, come on and have a discussion. And he's just screaming from the side instead of coming on the mic. And I'm like, bro, if you want to have this discussion. Then when he does eventually build up the courage to go on the mic, he starts ranting about H-2U visas or some shit, and companies exploiting them. I'm like, what the fuck does that have to do with ICE? Like, that's not the topic. The topic at hand is ICE did nothing wrong. If you want to complain about migrant workers being abused, that's another issue. Okay, that has nothing to do with immigration in itself. That's more about exploitation via immigration. But again, you know, his feelings got the better of him, and he decided to just spurg out. But yeah, if I said anything that offends you or you disagree with or whatever, feel free to come up to the mic. I will say this. When I was at USC, they were much braver. Penn State, like, what the hell's going on here, man?
Hey, so is the premise ICE did nothing wrong?
Obviously, it's a little bit of hyperbole, but for the most part, I think they're doing more good than bad.
Okay, so how are you defining wrong?
They're not breaking the law for the most part.
They're not breaking the law?
Yeah, they're enforcing immigration law.
Not really.
How are they not?
What's going on? Where's the due process?
Well, they are getting due process, but they're getting due process within an immigration court, which is an entire different process than a criminal
No, they're
court.
not. They're being picked up at immigration courts. We've seen
Yeah.
the video. We've seen the evidence. While they're doing the legal process, right? They're being picked up going through the legal actual process. So how are they doing nothing? How is ICE doing nothing wrong? They're stopping them from going through the actual legal process.
So here's the thing. When they're getting picked up at these immigration courts, they have no status, okay? So the way we've been doing things for a while now has been aliens have been able to stay in the United States with no status and kind of pending things. But the reality is when you don't have status, you're still removable. So what they're doing is, especially in New York City, where it's a sanctuary city, and this has been going on for a very long time, they're picking up these people that don't have status. So as an illegal alien, their methodology of due process within the immigration courts is completely different to that of what you're familiar with of a criminal court.
Sir, they're picking up people who one, do have a status. Two,
No, they don't. That's why they're getting picked up.
No, they're picking up people at their actual court hearings that they're known.
Yes.
Right?
So either the immigration judge is ordering them removed, they don't have status, whatever it may be. But if they're getting picked up at the immigration court, that means probably more than likely what happened was the judge rendered that they don't have status to stay in the United States.
Right, but they're going...
Hence why they're getting arrested.
These folks are going through the legal process, right? They're going through the process. There are folks that are actively either... They're on certain visas, they have certain green cards, whatever. Those are folks who are actually known, who are actually on set. ICE has picked up those people too. Why are they doing
because
that?
they violated their visa to some degree.
Is freedom of speech a violation of your visa?
What was that?
Is freedom of speech violation of your visa?
I actually agree with you on that one, where what they did to Mahmoud Khalil and these other individuals who were protesting against they used anti-Semitism as the reason, even though it's bullshit. But I actually agree that they should not be picked up for political speech.
So yeah, we can at least agree that...
We can agree on that.
What it is, right?
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is...
Deporting students for political speech that are here legally on student visas is deplorable.
Yeah, 100%. So we both agree with that.
Yeah.
But my friend... what I'm saying is that what they are doing is arresting American citizens in the night. They're arresting people.
And can you just speak up so everybody can hear you too? So that
they're arresting American citizens in the night. They're arresting, and they might be just detaining them and holding them.
Yeah.
But still, like, they're arresting American citizens and their children. One. Two, they're picking up people who are going to their actual, like, okay, I need to go through the process of going through the legalization process. So they're picking up people while they're actually trying to do that. And the Supreme Court just ruled that they're able to profile brothers and sisters that look just like me and you. Why is that okay?
Okay, so the first thing where you're saying that they're picking up American citizens. The reality is if they're picking up American citizens and they're actually staying detained and getting arrested, more than likely they committed an immigration crime. So whether it's harboring illegal aliens, transporting illegal aliens, aiding and abetting, these are all federal crimes.
Chicago. Well, whether
Okay.
or not it's a federal crime, what is
that's a big
illegal?
deal.
What is illegal immigration first offense defined under? What is it defined as?
Okay, what, illegal entry?
Illegal entry. What is it
Yeah,
defined
that's
as?
8 U.S.C. 1325.
It's a what though? It's a misdemeanor, correct?
No, it's not. It's a crime. Here's the thing. It's a crime, all right? And then illegal You could say it's a misdemeanor. That's
But it
fine.
is. But I'm not saying that's not what I'm saying. That's what it is.
Okay, but you're still deportable for coming in illegally.
Okay, fine. But
Whether
why
it's
are
a
we
misdemeanor or
deporting-
not.
Why are we deporting people who are actively going through the process? Why are we picking up people? Why are we arresting?
They have no status.
Why are we arresting American citizens in the night? They are just detained, but we're still breaking in, busting down American doors of American citizens that look like me and you.
So
why is that okay?
Here's the thing, and this is why it's very important to understand. They might have a criminal arrest warrant for an individual who is harboring aliens, who might be a U.S. citizen. That's what allows them to kick the door in. And then any other illegal aliens that they come across, they can grab.
So
Now,
we're
I will
allowed to
say
get
this,
picked up. Sorry, go ahead.
They can conduct what's called an immigration inspection. And that is where they determine their alienage and their citizenship. If the American citizens are not criminals and they're not harboring aliens or whatever else may be, and they're able to prove that they're a U.S. citizen, right, with their immigration inspection, they're fine. They'll be released. But the illegal aliens are the ones that get picked up once they get fingerprinted.
So the freedom we have in this country is the freedom of we might be harboring an illegal immigrant. So our kids can
That's
be
a felony.
zip-tied, brought out naked, right? Even though we're not harboring, brought out naked into the streets of Chicago, put in U-Haul vans, separated from their families because they might be harboring an illegal immigrant. That doesn't even make sense,
Well,
brother.
they're conducting an investigation. If they go into a house
With Apache helicopters?
or if they're look, we don't dictate how law enforcement does their operations. Like, they're going to do their operations in a way where they can stay safe. Like, there's a bunch of tactical reasons as to why law enforcement does the things that they do. So, yeah, and
So
go
wait.
ahead.
You're telling me they have to use an Apache helicopter on a building where the majority of the people staying in this apartment building are in fact American citizens to keep us safe? How many people do they have to? How many Americans do they have to round up and zip tie? And how many children got to round up to keep us safe?
Well, again, Chicago has a very bad crime problem. One of the worst cities in the United States.
Memphis is the worst.
Okay, that's why I said one of. Okay, Memphis, Detroit, Chicago, all these blue cities have problems. So the reality is, them running an Apache helicopter and rappelling in or whatever, that's tactics. That's a whole other thing. Like, some people might look at it like, oh, that's aggressive. That's, we don't need all that. Well, the reality is, the more aggressive you come in as law enforcement, the less likely they're going to resist where a use of force incident actually occurs. This is why law enforcement employs overwhelming force in the beginning to deter individuals for trying to retaliate, and it actually makes everyone else safer.
They're threatening ISIS, threatening and using pepper spray, tear gas on what is it called? On ambulance vehicles, right? On vehicles that are trying to administer aid to protesters. ISIS doing that. You really understand it. You really can't defend. You really can't defend.
Violence against law enforcement, especially immigration officials, has skyrocketed since the administration started.
Because they're wrong.
Was that?
They're wrong.
No, they're not.
Because
they're
wrong.
enforcing the law.
There's not a better way to enforce the law. You have to scare and terrify American children.
We do not as civilians, we do not dictate how law enforcement does their tactics, because
we should.
And here's the problem: did you serve in the military or anything?
No, I've never served. Sir.
Okay, then that's fine. And the reason why I say this is because I'm a former special agent with Homeland.
Oh,
so
I know.
I understand this stuff. You don't dictate to law enforcement how they're going to go ahead and carry out an arrest, because they're doing things from a perspective to ensure that everyone is safe. Now, you might look at it as a civilian to say, oh my God, this is overwhelming. Why are they doing that? There's a tactical reason as to why they do the things that they do. Because at the end of the day, I'd rather be the one coming in with the hard force, because I am more trained. I understand muzzle discipline, trigger discipline, etc. So if I come in aggressively, tactically, and overwhelm the individual, I know I can take them into custody swiftly where everyone else is safe.
You know what else has skyrocketed? What else has skyrocketed is police brutality against American civilians. What also has skyrocketed is wrongful convictions and wrongful arrest. What also has skyrocketed is the militarization of our police. These are all things that have skyrocketed.
Police brutality typically comes when retards resist cops.
Hey now, we ain't got to use the R word.
I mean, if you resist the police, you are by definition a retard.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. Don't we have a constitutional right to resist?
No, you don't actually.
Right? If we're
If
peacefully
they're
protesting,
operating in a
then we have
lawful manner, and they say,
So
hey,
who
you're being
defines-
detained or you're being arrested, you do not resist.
But they're not interpreting the law correctly, right? They're stepping all
That's
over the
not
top.
up to you to make that. That's not up to you to make that
Are we
decision.
a country? I'm sorry, excuse me. Are we a country of we the people, or are we the military?
So
Are we
this
the
is
police? Are we
this is what smart people do.
Oh, now
If,
you're going to
if the cops come up to you, right,
what he
and
does.
they're not detaining you or whatever, you ask, am I free to leave? If they say no, you're being detained, you be detained and you be quiet. If they arrest you, you go to jail, you call your lawyer. The less you say, the better. The less you resist, you better. And then you fight it out in court.
Right, but those are stepping on the. I as a black person, I'm taught that as a young black person. When I was a black child, you're taught to be respectful towards the police.
Yep.
The problem is we shouldn't have to be. But resisting with my mouth, say I'm being arrested, I can talk as much shit as I want, right? And legally, I should be able to talk, right, in a country that's supposedly freedom of speech, right?
Just because you could doesn't mean you should.
That's the point, is us being able to exercise our rights.
We also have to have some level of common sense. If a cop is arresting you and you're saying you fucking stupid ass pig, blah blah blah, and disrespecting them and escalating the situation, that is probably going to create
Where does the common
problems for you.
sense come in on the officer side, where they're not really being fired? They're just like they're getting paid leave.
There's bad
they're
cops
not really
everywhere, yeah.
Right,
But the
right.
reality is that's a fraction. Most cops are good people, law-abiding citizens.
I can't tell.
And honestly, if you show them respect, they're going to show you respect. But the problem is, especially in the black community, is they have a victim mindset, they have a victim narrative, all the cops are against them, systemic racism, blah, blah, blah. But the reality is they behave like fucking idiots.
What group of people is the most exonerated race as far as like wrongful conviction? Who has the highest, as far as race, who has the highest wrongful conviction and who has the highest exoneration? What race
Tell
of
me,
people?
go ahead. Is it black people?
It's black people, brother.
Okay.
We're the most wrongfully arrested. We're overrepresented in the prisons. Even though that we use drugs at the same amount as our white brothers and sisters, we're still overly policed for drugs and crime.
But they dominate when it comes to violent crime, while only being a disproportionate amount of the population.
When are we going to talk about white-on-white crime? When are we going to talk about white-on-white crime?
It happens.
It happens at who?
I mean, it just happened with...
who victimizes white people more? We don't got to talk about that, but who victimizes white people more? What race of people?
Well, typically, people kill each other. Their own
Fair
race.
enough.
Their own
Yes,
race.
you're right.
But the reality is, as a white person, you're about 11 times more likely to be killed by a black person than the other way around.
That's not true. You're
That
more
is
likely.
absolutely
You're
true.
more likely to be
That is
killed.
absolutely true.
You're more likely to be killed, right? You're more likely to be killed
By your own
some
race.
by some of your own race. You're more likely if you are the daughter of a white man or a white person, more likely to be abused. You're more likely to be stolen from a white person. And we know that there's a shit ton of police bias because we have a ton of statistics to show that there's a ton of police bias against the African American community. And to sit here and say, oh, we have a victim mindset, it completely erases. It completely erases. Did they not put crack in black neighborhoods? Did they not put cocaine and crack in black neighborhoods?
Okay. We do have to... I mean, are all black people stupid?
I don't know.
Okay.
Are all white people stupid?
Do they have agency?
Okay.
Okay, so if they have agency and they're not stupid, then if they put crack into neighborhoods, don't sell it.
Okay. You know that's not the way that works. That's not. You know.
Don't
that's not
sell
the way
it.
That, you know that is not.
Don't
the way
sell
that,
it.
It was. So what? So I have a question for you.
Because
What responsibility does the United States government
Yep.
have for what they did? What responsibility does the United States government have for what happened with the crack epidemic? And we both agree that happened. That
what, about the crack?
Our neighborhoods were flooded with crack by our government. We both agree that.
Yeah, to a degree, yeah. I mean, but like,
But
look, but here's the thing, man. Like, the government does a lot of stupid shit. Don't take the bait.
But we got to look at black people. Oh, they're being victims. We're not going to talk about the victimizers. We're just going to talk about the victims. Come on, brother.
No,
Come
man.
on,
Here's the thing. If you want to be treated like an equal and you want to be taken seriously and you want agency, then you must be able to deal with the consequences of your freedoms. And no one puts a gun in your head and says, sell crack, bro. Nobody goes out and tells you, sell that brick, get that cocaine. Black people do it because a lot of the times they have a toxic mindset, no father figure.
So you're agreeing that like the United States government, the police force, the CIA put these drugs in the neighborhood, yet they have no responsibility over what they did or tried to or go against black neighborhoods and black communities.
That's even
but
more
it's
so.
all the black communities' fault. They have all the even though there was red lines.
Because they had a choice to make.
You're holding us away from
They had a choice to make.
Yeah, but what? Okay, but what? The government had a choice too.
Okay.
Where is the
if you buy a gun and the gun shop sells the gun to you, and you use gun to kill someone, is it the gun shop's fault for selling you the gun? No,
we're not talking about guns. We're talking about human beings. We're talking about communities. We're talking about real lives, right? We're not talking about guns. We're talking about real. We're not talking about like this very weird analog thing. We're talking about the fact.
Choice.
We're talking about the fact that there was redlining. We're talking about the fact that black people have been kept from wealth forever. We're talking about the fact that we have been over-policed, right? And you just admitted and you agree with the fact that they put drugs in our mother-loving neighborhoods. But the government, these organizations, they have no responsibility. It's all on the communities that they affected, that they victimized, that they destroyed for years and years with legislation, with money.
Here's the reality.
With power, with drugs.
There is no doubt that the United States was built upon racism, and there was racism in the past and all the other horrible things, right? I'm acknowledging that. However, in 2025, racism is no longer a valid excuse to be an idiot or to be poor or to be fat or to be a loser.
The government just said it was a valid excuse for ICE to stop people. But profiling.
Yeah.
Which is a racist practice. Yes, sir, or no, sir?
I mean, here's the thing. It's not just profiling. A lot of times it's what neighborhood are they in, who are they hanging with, what are they doing. You know what I mean? It's called I call it active policing.
So I'd like to summarize.
Yeah.
So black people are only responsible for all the
I
shit
don't know
that
how
the
we got
government.
to black people from immigration.
But you indulge the conversation. But I'll go back to immigration. Let's
Sure.
So these communities that have been racially profiled by our government now is in control of another government agency that is profiling people of color, coming into neighborhoods, busting open the doors of American citizens who may or may not be hiding anyone. That's what's happening. And you're saying they did nothing wrong. To summarize, thank you guys very much.
No, that's not it at all. It's they broke the immigration law and they're getting arrested for being here illegally and they don't have status. That's why they're getting picked up at the immigration
courts. Why are
courts.
kids being put in zip ties? Why are American children being put in zip ties? Give me a good reason. Give me a good reason.
Here's again. Kids can get guns. We don't know what's going on. We don't know. Here's the thing.
There's a photo of a toddler in a zip tie. That's all. I got a gun in the diaper.
Law enforcement, when they go into these houses, right? Again, and this is the problem when I talk with like people that aren't trained tactically. When you're going
That's a great
into
way to subjugate my argument.
Yeah, no, because the problem here is that you don't like the methodology of how they're conducting things. But what I'm trying to explain to you is there's certain tactical procedures that you put into place where you know you're not going to hurt those individuals if they're all restrained and detained to a degree. And you're going to go ahead and detain everybody until you figure out what's going on, what you got. Then you can release them after.
Who funds our law enforcement?
The government.
The government is paid
the
by
government, and the government is funded by us.
Yeah, the taxpayers. So
Yeah.
when you say things like,
And the taxpayers voted for this.
when you say,
we
my
voted
God.
for mass deportations.
Let's not talk about the fact that like 15
We voted
million
for Trump.
Democrats,
He
15
won.
million Democrats did
The American public wants the
Did
mass
you vote for
deportations.
Trump? Did you vote for Trump?
Fuck yeah, I voted for Trump.
Why did you vote for Trump, my brother? Oh man.
To send these people back, to make sure we don't have a female president. And
Oh man.
I don't
All
like
right.
what he's doing with Israel.
Oh.
That's probably one of my grievances. But we can't have a female president.
Thank you very much for your time. I learned nothing. Thank you.
Well, the reality is that your worldview is wrong. Okay? There you go. Systemic racism.
Hi, how are
That's
you?
why no one takes black people seriously anymore. What's up?
I just had a question. I was talking over there. I was wondering, like, what are your viewpoints on, like, capitalism in America? Like, I understand, like, your opinions on, like, Israel and donating, like, billions for them and how you disagree with that.
Speak up so everybody can hear you.
So, like, my question is if you're, like, truly, like, for America, how do you feel about the idea of socialism being implemented into the U.S.?
So, that's a good question. Now, when it comes to capitalism, I like it, but every single, economic practice is going to have plus and negatives.
Right.
One of the negatives is when it comes to, for example, healthcare, right? Capitalism in healthcare kind of sucks because when you have a for-profit industry that is supposed to be taking care of people, what ends up happening is the pharmaceutical companies are more concerned with keeping you on the drugs versus actually helping you because they make more money by doing so. So I do think that there's a conflict of interest there when you incentivize pharmaceutical companies to keep people sick. But at the same time, when it comes to capitalism also allows for innovation. It allows for people to come up with new methodology to deal with illnesses, etc. So it's almost like a catch-22. And we need to find some middle ground where these companies are still incentivized to come out with breakthrough technology to help people live better quality lives and help them live longer and improve their health, while simultaneously staving off the inherent greed in the healthcare industry, right? Because I know we all probably have people that we love that need their insulin, that are getting older, and we want them to live as long as possible. We don't want predatory pharmaceutical companies and medical industry doing anything. But I would say when it comes to making things more affordable, when it comes to the older people and the children and everything else like that, I see a perspective. But socialism in other ways I think can create inherent problems. But I do think that we need to take care of our elderly and our young and vulnerable when it comes to healthcare and not try to profiteer off of them.
Right, and I'd agree. I think just the issue is, like, do you think we live in kind of society of, like, our culture is, like, U.S. culture is more greedy than other states or countries?
100%. I mean, the reality is the reason why this country is so great is because of our capitalism. This is why so many people come here, even from other first world countries, because they simply don't have the financial opportunities that they have in those countries due to this socialist problem that we're discussing. So it's kind of one of the things that sucks where you want to be able to be capitalistic and be able to make as much money as possible, but at the same time you do have a moral obligation to take care of your old and your young and your vulnerable. So we have to find a middle ground where we can still push innovation while simultaneously taking care of people in the United States. And I don't think anybody should ever be dying when we have medicine and technology to save people, right? So we just got to be able to figure this out and get to some middle ground.
That's all my questions.
No worries,
Thank
man.
you.
Good question. All right. Who's up next?
Hello.
What's up?
Can I give a shout out before I start?
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to shout out my friend Kenner Cuevas from West New York, New Jersey. And, well, what do you think of Penn State firing James Franklin?
I'll be honest, I'm not really too into college sports and stuff, so I am not too familiar. But from what I understand, he got fired for performance issues. Wasn't winning. I mean, if they suck, they suck. That's that's the game, right? It's if you don't win, your job's on the line.
I mean, honestly, I'm cool with them firing him, but like they should also fire the offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator. They should have just fired him because he was really took accountability after every loss.
Yeah, I mean, again, typically a head coach isn't the only one when the team sucks. Like, yeah, you got your defensive and offensive coordinators, everything else like that. Players, maybe bad morale. There's so many different things that go in, but unfortunately, as the head coach, you are the face of the team, and you're going to be the convenient person to be axed. Whether this is all sports, basketball, football. I don't know about soccer so much, but baseball with the manager. If your team sucks, typically it's going to be the coach that's let go first.
All right, that's all I want to talk about. Thank you.
No worries, man. No problem. Anybody else?
Hey, so I have like a couple friends who are Jews. Like
Okay.
how do you feel about that? Like do you think they deserve more or less?
Well, I think it's important to always, look at things from a specific standpoint when it needed. And if your friend's a good guy and he doesn't commit crimes or hurt anybody, then yeah, he's good. I mean, just because he's Jewish doesn't mean he's a bad person.
All right.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
All right. What else? I'll read some of these chats here while we wait, since some of you guys are scared. Okay. KG Farrell says, what building are you at? No, it's got that one. Doing God's work. Thank you. Coco Manny Shots, Uncensored America. Hairmine, did you hear about? Nope, read that one. Bobby Trauma W. Hello Monkey says, since MTG openly speaks against Israel, would you vote for her if she ran for president? No, she's a woman. Thomas Massey. What's up? Go ahead.
Yeah, so I heard your comment asking about like women are stupid. Can you just like elaborate on that?
Yeah. So when I say that, obviously I'm being funny or whatever. But
Right.
what I do think, honestly, is that women and men are not equal. I think women need to be subordinate to men at all times. I think feminism is a lie. Set them up for a lot of failure and a lot of inevitable heartbreak. And they're stupid because most of them buy into the lie of feminism. That's what actually makes them stupid.
So can I ask, like, what are your religious views? Like, are you like Christian? Or are you?
I grew up Muslim.
Okay.
But all the people of the book, kind of understand that, men are supposed to be the patriarchs, the leaders, the head of the households, whether it's Christianity, Judaism, Islam, they all got it right.
But couldn't we agree that there's like a shift in society that like most people are equal? Like, I don't think that we should say women are less than us and that like they can't take care of themselves.
Well, that's precisely the problem, is egalitarianism. It doesn't adhere to reality.
But we live in the reality now. Like, there are women taking care of themselves. Like, they don't need men.
Well, not really. The only reason they're able to take care of themselves is because we've civilized the world so much, where these same toxically masculine men that they criticize all the time, these are the guys that have civilized the world for them. So since we have, all this safety and technology and everything else like that, they're able to operate on their own now. But the reality is, and this is why it's so important for you young guys to understand this, though we live in an egalitarian society and women sit there and say, I want to be equal to a man, the reality is they're not attracted to that. And all of you young guys here need to understand that what women say versus what they're aroused by and what they're attracted to are two different things. So girls will sit there and say, oh, I want to be equal to you. But the easiest way to tell that's bullshit is when the bill comes, what are they doing? They're hoping that you pay for it. Okay? So, and if a woman does get with you, she still expects you to make bare minimum as much as her, if not more. So our biology, unfortunately, does not adhere to modern society.
Are you like, I just don't like, where are you getting those like ideas where like women like want you to pay for the things. Like, I mean, like, sure, we can go off like gender norms and
Yeah.
like, you know, like, oh, what's the deal? And like when you take a girl out on a date, like, oh, she probably expects you to pay for the bill, but like, is that every case? Like, that's the real
I'm a
question.
staggering majority.
I
would say if I lined up 100 women, 90 of them are going to expect for you to pay for the first date and adhere to your masculine burner performance to some degree. And here's the thing. Notice how you even knew it. Yeah, I'm probably going to have to pay for it, blah, blah. Like you inherently understand your roles as a guy, even though I can tell here that you're a bit more central / maybe left because you believe that women are equal to men. Even you as a guy that's centered or maybe leftist a little bit, you even understand that there's a burner performance on you to pay for the date. But here's the difference. Women don't feel like they have to do anything for your affection. Most women feel as though I'm equal to you, but I still want to be treated like a lady. So in other words, they can pick and choose when they want to be a lady when it's advantageous to them. And this is where a lot of guys fuck up because you guys sit there, take her on the fucking date, pay for the date, treat her like a lady, but she's a fucking slut. And then you wonder why. Oh, fuck, what's going on here? This sucks. And this comes from guys not understanding the inherent differences between men and women. So they can pick and choose when they want to be a lady, but you have to always be a man. And that's the issue here. And that's fine. If a woman wants to be an egalitarian and all this other bullshit, fine. Find a girl that wants to submit to you as a guy. Because sluts are terrible people, by the way. If you guys, I'm sure many of you guys here might have dated one or been with a girl that was promiscuous. They're fucking terrible people, man. They'll ruin your life. So, and this is some shit that your father or your brother should have told you. But trust me, as an older guy, I'm 35. You know, I went to college too. I went to Northeastern University. I was a D1 athlete, dealt with a bunch of 304s. And it's gotten a lot worse for you young guys. I feel sorry because you guys got to deal with Instagram and TikTok and all this other bullshit. You know, we didn't have these problems when I was in school. You know, Instagram was just becoming a thing. But now, thanks to social media, unfortunately, a lot of these girls are fucking insufferable. So, entitlement to a whole other degree. And a lot of you guys are laughing because you guys know I'm telling the fucking truth. How many bitches do we got here that are 5s that act like they're fucking 10s when in reality they bring nothing to the table besides an attitude, syphilis, and no sandwich making skills? It's fucking retarded. So, and this is the reality is, you know, a lot of you guys are probably nodding along or in your head or like, oh yeah, that's true. Obviously, you don't want to come off as a misogynist, right, on a college campus. I get it, because these college campuses become indoctrinated fucking leftist camps. But the reality is, most women are fucking useless, if we're gonna be honest, outside of sex. You know, if you remove sex from a woman, you'll realize, like, what the fuck is going on here? The only reason guys tolerate bad behavior from women a lot of times is for sexual access. Now, is this every woman? Of course not. But a lot of them are useless, right? And it's funny because it goes the other way around too. But if I say a lot of guys are fucking useless, no one gives a shit. But if I say a lot of women are useless, oh, that's misogynistic. You know? But anyway, anybody else have anything? Don't be scared, guys. Got a whole fucking crowd here. Got amplified sound. Agree, disagree? Okay, let's follow up. Sure.
Sorry, I got another question just because we were talking about your topics. You said systemic racism is a hoax or it's like fake or...
Yeah, it's a scam. It's a lie.
Why? Because, I mean, what about redlining? Like, are we just going to ignore that? It's kind of like...
Yeah, so when it comes to redlining, right, and just so the audience understands, basically it's like, you know, it's a real estate situation where it fucks with the prices of homes, etc. Look, man, let's just keep it 1,000. When blacks move into your neighborhood, it's not a good sign, right? If Jews move into your neighborhood, that's a very good sign. Because, and I'm speaking from a real estate investor perspective, like your property is going to go up through gentrification, but it's not going to go up from niggification. And when blacks move into your neighborhood, property just goes down. And the reason why is because they tend to commit a lot of crimes. Now, I don't expect any of you guys to admit this, but none of us want to live in a majority black neighborhood. We're not trying to get fucking robbed. We don't do crack. It is what it is, right? And a lot of us might not want to listen to loud hip-hop at 3 o'clock in the morning. So when I say systemic racism is a scam, I'm not denying the fact that there was racism in the United States before that created problems. But what I am saying is there's nothing holding black people from success now. And anyone that still, you know, holds on to, my slavery, my systemic racism, my reparations, like, you're just a retarded monkey. So I think guys need to, like, get out the victim complex and,
well,
you know.
What educates someone? It's good schooling, right? Like, how do you get educated? You need a good school. You need to start the basis at, like, elementary school or, like, high school. And what pays for those things? Like, your local taxes, your community taxes. So when it comes to things, if we're going to go back to redlining, like, what does that mean? Their property taxes are going to be lower. They're going to pay less money into the public schools.
Basically, like house price, like real estate prices kind of drop off when black people move in, or it's harder for blacks to get access to homes. But again,
so they're not the schools aren't going to get funded as well. Therefore, the education is going to be lower.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think it's like kind of a.
But the thing is that we've created so many different affirmative action DEI programs that allow inner city kids to get out of those schools or have the opportunity to apply to colleges with lesser grades or whatever. Like what I'm trying to say is we've done a good amount to allow and facilitate people that come from poor circumstances to go to college, get an education, get an opportunity, right? And this has all been done through different, programs that are not available to white people, by the way. So my thing is, I don't think systemic racism is no longer an excuse to complain as to why you're not successful. I'm a guy that came from a poor household, right? My parents are black, despite people trying to say I'm not. And we figured out a way, and there's many people that make it out the hood. And what it really comes down to is like survival of the fittest. And I know that's a very sucky way to look at things, but everyone's simply not going to make it. And if you're dumb enough to sell drugs, or commit crimes or do all this other dumb stuff, well, then you're going to go to jail, and honestly, society's better off without you.
Well, but I mean, if you're built on like a community and culture of honestly racism, I mean, like white people kind of like looking down towards black people, or like using the terms like.
I would argue most white people don't look at. If anything, most white people love black people nowadays. They love the music, they love the culture, they fucking try to dress like them. Like black culture is extremely influential in American society.
You go into a white neighborhood as a black person, you're gonna get eyes like that. Like why? Like that shouldn't be necessary. Like
that's just reality. It's a natural human trait. Like stereotypes exist for a reason, and stereotypes typically tend to be based in reality and pattern recognition. Is every single black person a criminal? Of course not. However, we've seen via stats and looking around or personal experiences that a lot of the times when people have experiences with black people, it's not favorable. It's not a good experience. Again, is that every black person? No, but they do tend to commit a disproportionate amount of crime, and it is what it is. So I think instead of people getting mad at being profiled, prove the profile wrong, right? Like myself. I'm a colored individual. People look at me crazy sometimes when I'm in white neighborhoods. Hell, when I was walking around campus, people look at me. But once I open up my mouth, speak, convey that I'm not a fucking retard, and be able to articulate myself, people are like, okay, this guy isn't a fucking moron. Cool. I don't think that there's anything wrong with proving yourself, because stereotypes are going to exist no matter what. The world does not owe you understanding. And this is one of the parts of like becoming a man, is that you're always going to have to deal with adversity to some degree. And the best thing to do is like take those lemons and make lemonade.
Thank you.
No problem. All right. Anybody else? Okay. Here we go.
Let's run that back about the black community. What did you say about stereotypes of black community? Just so I'm clear.
The typical stereotypes. Criminals selling drugs, rap music,
wow.
FUBU.
Who's the
fried chicken, watermelon?
That's funny.
Well, you said the stereotypes.
Yeah, that's so funny. That's so funny. All right, so you want to talk about drug dealing? I think we kind of mentioned it a little bit earlier. Who flooded black neighborhoods with drugs? They don't have access to the port. Black people aren't on the ports. Black people aren't the ones bringing it in from Nicaragua or wherever the fuck. How did those drugs get in these communities?
Yeah, they were smuggled in.
By who?
Hispanics typically smuggle the drugs in.
So
right, and then blacks typically do the domestic distribution.
So we're talking about you're just saying that the CIA Contra affair, all that stuff that happened, putting crack in black neighborhoods, that was just black people, crazy.
Well, you have a choice. Am I going to sell crack or am I not going to sell crack? If you decide to not sell the crack, you won't go to jail. If you decide to sell the crack, you'll go to jail.
So
but the point is that there's a choice to be made, and if you make the wrong choice, then.
So when you deny a whole community access to wealth through, redlining, when you let them access to wealth, about not giving them loans or
what's holding black people back from success now?
So history doesn't matter. It doesn't affect the present. So history doesn't affect the present. Is that what your framing?
Not really. Well, nothing's holding you back.
I'm one brother.
Okay.
I'm one brother.
Well, any black person that's here, nothing's holding any of you guys back. You guys are here, right?
So as far as
like housing, here, right?
So you're saying that there is still no racist housing practices, even though we have a ton of statistics to say there is. You're saying that there are no racist policing practices, even though we know
I never said that.
Oh, so okay, you never said that.
Racism exists. but it does not exist to the point where it keeps you from success.
So
There's always going to be racist people wherever you look. There's a lot of black people that are racist, right? I would argue blacks tend to be more racist than whites sometimes. But regardless, racism is no longer a viable excuse as to why you're not successful. It's just not. In 2025. I would argue, as a black person, if you're not successful in 2025, you're a fucking retard, and I'll tell you why. You have far more opportunities and benefits as a colored person than as a Caucasian. We have affirmative action, DEI. We have all these programs in place to allow minorities to basically get a leg up on the things that you're talking about before. I agree that there were some racist atrocities before. However, we've corrected it to a point where everyone has an opportunity. I would say we've almost overcorrected.
You think we've overcorrected?
Almost,
okay.
Yes.
Okay, you think we've overcorrected. So all these programs, all these things that exist, who did DEI programs mostly benefit?
They benefit blacks and women and minorities.
White women were the number one. Black people at the bottom.
Yeah.
We are at the lower part of that table. It was white women. So don't come here and say that DEI has put black people.
I am not. Well, it's giving you guys opportunities. And obviously, white women are almost.
What opportunities?
White women spearhead every liberal movement, which again, on the white guys, you guys need to take better. You guys need to, put these women back in the kitchen. Because the reality is that they fucking undermine.
Listen, this is coming from a guy who is not married. I'm married 5 years. Don't listen to this.
What does have to...
Bro, your opinions on, I'm just saying your opinions on women come from an uninformed place.
Really?
Yes.
How many women have you had sex with?
A lot.
Okay. Now, how long you been married
That's
for?
That's provable, and I got video evidence.
Yeah, okay. Well, don't incriminate yourself. Look, you can sit here and say, you're not married, so therefore you can't talk on this. But the reality is that men are the ones that give relationships to women, not the other way around. So if I wanted to get married, I could easily get married.
Women can say no, right?
Well, women want relationships. Men gatekeep relationships.
Men need relationships.
No, women need relationships, actually.
Oh, okay. What's the statistics on single men, loneliness, depression? And what happens with these single men once they get into relationships? And what happens to women once they get in relationships or get married, statistically?
All right, so do you want to transition from race into marriage now, or did you want to finish
I'm
the
sorry.
race thing?
You're the one who's talking about women. You're the one who's starting the conversation.
No, you brought up the whole I'm married thing, and you showed your ring.
Listen, if you can't handle the debate, brother, if you can't handle, I got you. But what I'm saying,
if you want to segue to that, we can. But
man, we can segue to that. I want to talk about race and the fact that historically we've been kept away from our communities.
And my counter to that is simply, historically does not mean now. There's nothing holding you back now.
And my counter argument to that is, then that's like saying that what happened a few minutes ago doesn't affect our present. It does. That's the way history works. That's the way time works. We have laws. We have legislation. The reason we have a country is because of shit that happened a long time ago. True or false? The reason that we have the Constitution and the laws that still govern us today are because of legislation and things that happened. But that's the way time works.
Of course.
It's past,
what I'm saying is,
and future.
Though the things happened in the past, nothing is stopping you from working in the present to change your future.
But you're saying, say there's two people running a race. You just had all these obstacles in front of one, well, no obstacles in front of the other. And now you're saying, well, we're not going to have halfway through the race, no more obstacles.
Bro, let me just be honest. This is why nobody respects blacks, bro. This mantra right here.
Why does no one respect you?
Let me explain this. Why is that Nigerians or people from Africa or they come from the Caribbean, they come here and they make something to themselves as first generation immigrants? I'll tell you why. Because they don't have this mindset of redlining, systemic racism, reparations. They come here, even though they're black and everyone else can identify them as not being a foundationally black American. They have the same skin color. They look black. They might not necessarily be a foundationally black American, but how is it that they're able to figure it out and come here and become successful? But people that have been here for 7 generations don't even have $7 in their fucking bank account. The problem is that blacks make too many goddamn excuses for why they're failures.
Oh, my God.
And this is the issue. Too many excuses.
My God.
Too many fucking complaints. Too much crying. It's like
they're not. I mean, this is stuff that actually happened when we did build economic systems, when we did build communities, where we had money. When we did build those things, they were what? Destroyed systematically, either by racist organizations or by legislation. That's something that actually happened. So what happens when you give a bunch of people who are one race, right, access to housing, access to loans, and you don't do that to another people? What do you think the generations after that would have happened?
If that racism is so bad, why is it that black people actually did better during the Jim Crow era? They had their own businesses. They were making more money. I'll tell you why, because the nuclear family. So when black people were the most oppressed and had the least rights and the least civil liberties, they actually did better than they do now. So, again, Nothing can keep you back.
Reconstruction. You're talking about.
Nothing can keep you back from success besides yourself.
So you're talking about Reconstruction, right? What happened to all those successful businesses and things that were around during Jim Crow? They were destroyed, bro. They were destroyed.
And who destroyed
cousin? Our government or white racist. But that happened. You can't even lie. That's history, brother. That's history.
Again, choice and accountability.
The 90s we're just
choice
a couple.
And accountability.
That was a little bit ago. We're still living in the body. Okay, so what you're saying?
Because
so the people in Tulsa,
the
people in Tulsa, Oklahoma, they chose for the Klan to come around. They chose for that. Is that what the fuck? You're talking about choice and responsibility, brother.
And I'm saying,
what responsibilities does the government have?
What I'm saying is, in the 60s, when they were actually successful, right, they were oppressed to the highest degree and they were still successful. So there's no excuse with racism being reeled back to not be successful. That's what I'm saying. All these other things happened. Cool. Nobody cares. People need to pick themselves up from the bootstraps.
Maybe you need to start caring. Maybe people should start caring. Maybe we should have those conversations. Because if we don't take care of what happened and how people were left like taken away from their access to wealth, right? If we don't deal with those things, how the fuck are we going to move forward?
Again, you can move forward because blacks have more opportunities than their white counterparts who are oppressing them for so long.
Who gets the majority of scholarships?
Well, here's the thing. There are scholarships that are only available to black people that are not available to whites.
Who gets the majority of scholarships?
Now, could you imagine if there was a scholarship that was only available to whites that's not available to blacks? See where I'm going with this?
But why do you think
blacks
they
have opportunities that whites don't have, and they've been getting this overcorrection for a while.
But right, but we're still saying who gets the majority of loans? Who gets overpoliced? Who gets the majority of access to wealth? Who gets the majority of scholarships? It's white folk, brother.
Well, they're the majority of people. They're the majority race. So of course they're going to be the majority in a lot of these regards that you're speaking about.
If they're the majority race, how come black people, right? But you want to talk about black people in regards to crime, but you don't want to talk about how that crime got into those neighborhoods or how those things, what responsibility does white America or America, the government, have as a whole for what you keep talking about responsibility? What responsibility does the government have?
Here's the problem. Blacks want to blame the government, not blame themselves. Oh, it's the government's fault. No, it's your fault for selling the drugs.
So the government has no responsibility. They have no fault, nothing bad. They didn't do anything bad. They're good. It's all gravy.
The government's always going to do dumb shit.
So we can't hold the government accountable.
Here's the thing. You can't depend on the government to save you. Like, just don't commit crimes.
You're wild. So the government, what utility does the government have?
You can't depend on the government to save you.
But okay, cool. But why are they destroying us?
They're not destroying you.
So
right now, how is the government holding you back from success right now?
I can't believe I got to do this again.
How is the government holding you back from success right now?
The race,
I don't care about the 80s with the crack.
No, okay, we'll talk about right now. What race of people are the highest exonerated? What race of people are the highest of wrongful convictions? What race of people are statistically over-policed? Go on.
Well, who commits a disproportionate amount of violent crime in America? So yeah,
wait, I have a question. If wrongful convictions majority of wrongful convictions are black people, and the majority of wrongful arrests, which is provable statistically, are black people, then could you assert from these statistics and look at the one where you're saying that they're committing more violent crime, right? When you're saying that one, then what does that tell you? Their communities are over-policed.
This is a minority of cases, but the majority is they're fucking guilty.
The majority of black people are not.
No. I said the majority of these people that get arrested. The majority of these people that get arrested are guilty.
A white criminal offended and a black criminal offended who have the same criminal record go before a judge. Do black people disproportionately get higher sentences?
Because they commit a disproportionate amount of crime.
No. It's
violent crime and it's drug trafficking.
No, you're not.
Violent crime and it's drug trafficking.
So you're saying that I see a black guy, a white guy, they did the same crime, but because your community historically, wow, you want to bring that up historically?
Well, that could be access to lawyers. That's going to be a big one.
And so what happens when what community has the least access to wealth? It's black people.
And whose fault is that? Black people.
If we're constantly bro, you just admitted.
This is why nobody fucking takes black people serious, man. Like, this is crazy. Like,
I'm gonna let him go next because you have so much circular logic.
Over policing.
This was a fantastic opportunity to make myself dumber.
No,
Thank you.
dude, this is literally why everyone laughs at fucking blacks. Like, I don't know if you saw a bunch of niggas in the back are laughing at you. Like, all you got is excuses and complaints as to why you're a fucking failure. Like, bruh, like, this shit is crazy. You know? Like, it's just absolutely nuts. It's like, how is it that people come here from Africa don't speak the language, and figure it out and become successful. Meanwhile, we got these guys coming around, oh, more racism. It's fucking clown world, bro. It's clown world. And this is why people laugh at the black community, because all they do is victim, 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 victim. What's that, man?
How's it going?
Yo.
So I want to bring us back to the ICE thing, but I also want to talk about something that you brought up before this started.
Yep.
You mentioned that you're not here to clip farm. Is that true?
We're live right now.
Okay. Can people not take clips on your stream?
Of course they can.
Okay. And are you not going to post this on YouTube in any capacity?
We're live on YouTube right now.
Okay, so it's on YouTube. So
Yeah.
how are you not clip farming if you're here on a college campus as a 35-year-old man who does this for a living, talking to college kids, and then live streaming it where it can easily be clipped? How is that not clip farming?
Look, I can't protect you if you're a fucking retard. If someone says something stupid...
Hold on.
It's
Are
like-
you clip farming? Because
here's the
I'm not
thing.
asking you to protect me, but you said you are not clip farming.
The only person that can make themselves look stupid is that person. If they say stupid things, I can't control people all over the internet clipping stuff and posting it. Most of the clips, like for example, people walk up to me all the time, bro, I see you on TikTok. You're a TikTok guy. And I'm like, I've been banned off TikTok since 2020. So
but you are a content creator as your job.
But I cannot control who clips what and posts what.
I agree, but you can control who you talk to. And if you're here with college-age students who are clearly going to know less about these topics than you when you do this for a living, you're kind of taking advantage of them, no?
You sound like a black guy, more victimness.
Okay. That's kind of a crazy thing to say, but let's take it back to
You
ICE.
literally sound like the last guy that was here that was complaining about racism and systemic, all this bullshit.
Listen, we've already established that it's clip farming, but I want to talk about the thing that you're here for, okay?
Sure.
ICE. So I know the guy that was just before me earlier, he was talking to you about the Chicago raids, and your response to that was that the method that they use of like coming in there, taking people outside, zip tying them,
Yep.
American citizens included, children included,
Yep.
it was necessary for procedure. Is that
Yep.
what you said earlier?
Yeah, I mean, it's a safety thing.
Okay.
Simple as that.
So as American citizens, are we not afforded certain rights against search and seizure? And when law enforcement is allowed to detain us, we have certain rights against that, right?
Well, if they believe that a crime that could be is being committed or is being committed or has been committed, they obviously are going to run an investigation. If you go into a house and you see an American citizen and a bunch of illegal aliens, well, that's a crime. That is harboring illegal aliens. That's a felony.
So the crime was that they believed that there was illegal aliens being harbored there.
It could be. There's different situations as to why they went in, because we don't know the facts of when they hit the door. Did they have a warrant? Did they get consent? Who knows what it is? We don't know all these very pertinent and important facts that obviously will, let us know how things really went down. But what I will say from a tactical procedure, zip tying and or handcuffing every single person as you're doing an enforcement operation is the standard, right? I know it sounds bad and it sucks, but this is the reality when you're dealing with high-risk warrants or going into a high-risk neighborhood or whatever it may be to be safe, especially with the amount of violence and aggression that's been going on towards federal agents as they're trying to effectuate these immigration arrests.
Yes, I understand that being the procedure. I want to mainly focus on constitutional rights against search and seizure, right?
Sure.
We specifically, as American citizens, are supposed to be afforded those protections so that in the middle of the night, law enforcement can't come and zip tie us and those sort of things.
Yep.
In instances where that happens, I think it's kind of impossible to say that our constitutional rights aren't being violated in some capacity.
Well, do you know if they had a warrant or not?
They would need justification for it,
They
right?
might have a warrant.
They
But we
might
don't
have
know
a
that.
So let's say they don't have a warrant.
Okay.
Is that wrong?
Well, again, they might knock on the door. Someone comes. Hey, could we come in and search? They say yes. They go in. They see an illegal alien. Bam. Now at that
So they
point,
can search the whole building?
if they get consent, yeah. Well, hold on. The building they can go into, each unit, we don't know what their particular circumstances were because each house or each unit is going to be its own search situation, if that makes sense.
So let me
or its
clarify.
own law enforcement encounter.
Yeah, I want to clarify your scenario. So you're saying they go in, they knock on somebody's door,
Mhm.
they find an illegal alien in that room,
Yep.
and then they're allowed to search the entire building and look for illegal aliens?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
How is that probable cause for who's living in the other rooms?
Okay. So are you familiar with the concept of right to see, right to be, and right to see?
Not exactly. Can you
Okay, so
elaborate?
if you lawfully enter a home, right, let's say you get consent to search, and you find drugs, now you can go ahead and say, I now have the probable cause to search this entire place. They could go ahead and kick everybody out, detain them, call up a judge, get a warrant, and now they can go ahead and search the entire place unless the person gives them consent to continue searching. But the reality is, right to be means right to see. So if they're in there lawfully and they see something or criminal activity, that gives them the probable cause to go ahead and get a warrant or continue the search. Now, if you go into a house and there's illegal aliens in there, now you have probable cause for what's called 8 U.S.C. 1324, or which is a felony under the INA for alien smuggling and harboring. So again, these are details that we don't know because we just saw a promo highlight reel, but these are things that could have happened as to why you saw what you saw.
Okay, well, again, we were talking about an apartment building, right? So if they go under what you just mentioned, if they go into an apartment building, they find one illegal alien in one of those rooms.
Yep.
The thing that you're talking about, it would apply to the whole building, not just this one individual's room?
Well, it would apply to that apartment unit.
That apartment unit.
Yes, but you don't know if the person that has that apartment unit isn't also renting out other units.
You don't know, but law enforcement doesn't know
Well,
either.
here's the thing. They might talk to the person that's in charge of the house. Hey, do you have any other units? Yeah, I got a couple others here. Or you get information from informants that you know that aliens are in another house. There's so many different ways where they can build up the probable cause to conduct these operations, and we don't know, so we can only speculate. But I'm giving you a couple of examples of how law enforcement ends up in these situations. But yes, harboring illegal aliens is a crime. The reason why most people don't know this is because we've gone soft on immigration for too long, and we've been cucking ourselves for a bunch of fucking beaners and immigrants.
Well,
so the reality is, if they're here illegally and they get found in a unit, that gives the cops or law enforcement the opportunity to get a warrant to search the rest of the residents and conduct their investigation.
Okay, again, we're doing a lot of speculating, as you just said, right? You're doing a lot of speculating.
Well, you're the one that came in saying, like, this is illegal, blah, blah, and explain to you why it probably won't be.
I didn't say it was illegal. I never said it was illegal. I said that if it was
You made an argument about search and seizures, illegal search and seizures.
Yes. But we don't have information on whether or not this was a legal search and seizure, right? So I wanted to get your opinion on what would be the case if it was an unlawful search and seizure. Would that be wrong?
The case would be thrown out.
It would be wrong.
Yes, the case would be thrown out. It would literally be fruit of a poisonous tree.
Okay. So when I'm looking at this situation as an American citizen and I'm seeing these people get detained, right? I'm going to see that. I'm going to think that's wrong, because if they were getting detained unlawfully, which there's no proof that they were getting detained lawfully, then it would be wrong.
Well, you don't know if they're being detained unlawfully too.
I don't know if they're being detained lawfully or unlawfully.
Yeah, you don't know.
You're right, but I'm being presented with this fact that they are raiding a building of illegal immigrants, allegedly.
Yep.
And then they are getting zip-tied. American citizens are getting zip-tied. We don't know if ICE had the justification to go in and do that. That's a problem.
Well, you're not going to know because law enforcement does their operations, and it is what it is. Like, you can go ahead if you wanted to, and maybe there's a press release on it, read it, go through the criminal complaint, see what they were charged with or whatever, but we don't know. And also, you don't know when they go in there what other things they might have found. Did they find guns? Did they find drugs? Did they find evidence of another crime?
Lots of speculation.
We don't know. Yeah,
lots of speculation.
But the thing is that I'm going to assume that if they had that many people detained and they arrested a bunch of them and brought them back, they had some probable cause to do so.
But we don't know that for sure. And I think as American citizens, when we live in a democracy where we're seeing a case where our rights might be being violated, and we know from instances that have happened in this administration that there have been cases where people who were not illegal immigrants were being detained unlawfully.
No, they're being detained pending an investigation, and then if they're not, committing a crime or they are here illegally, then they'll be released.
When I'm talking about unlawfully, I'm saying that we have American citizens who have protections under the Constitution.
You don't know if they're being detained illegally because, again, it's a part of a criminal investigation and you don't know.
Well, let's talk about the legal standards there, right? Why we're detaining American citizens because they might be illegal immigrants.
They might be harboring illegal aliens, yes, or they might have found a gun in the house, or they might have found drugs. We don't know.
We're not always talking about them being arrested for harboring illegal aliens. We're talking about they could be arrested because the law enforcement thinks that they are here illegally.
They're gonna detain them and conduct what's called an immigration inspection and determine their alienage, and they can do that.
That has not always been the case that they can do that. And I want to talk about,
if you go into a house and you encounter illegal aliens there, and like one person is a USC, you have reason to believe that person might be illegal too. So you're going to detain them and figure out what their nationality is.
Under different administrations, these things are permitted versus not permitted. No, under Biden's administration, would these same deportations be happening? You think?
Okay, under the Homeland Security Act, you can absolutely detain someone to identify who they are, especially if you go into a residence and you find other illegal aliens. Then you have reason to believe, okay, this guy might be an illegal alien too. you can detain them and figure out what their alienage or their nationality and make sure that they're U.S. citizens. So completely legal. They do it all the time, and it's under the DHS Act.
Right. These are policy points, right? You would agree. That's happening because of a policy that allows it to happen.
No, it's law. And when it comes to
Where does law come from policy?
No. It comes from the INA, the Immigration Nationality Act.
Is that not a policy?
Okay, no, it's a law. And again, the problem here is what I'm realizing is you're conflating criminal law with immigration. Immigration and criminal are two different things. Now, there are times where they can blend together, like with alien smuggling or harboring, like I said.
Or if a U.S. citizen was detained, that would be going against their constitutional rights. If they were unlawfully detained.
No, if they're unlawfully detained, yes. But if you go into a house and you find other illegal aliens there, they can absolutely detain the American citizen and figure out what their citizenship is. They can do that.
Right, but I think as American citizens, the way that we should be looking at this, right, because I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a politician, I'm not the person passing these laws. So we live in a country, though, where we're supposed to have certain standards for who can be arrested and who can not. So when I look at a situation like this, where American citizens are being zip-tied so that we can get these illegal immigrants who are in this building, the problem is that I don't think we should live in a country where, because we have some illegal immigrants here, American citizens are also going to suffer. That seems wrong to me.
Well, don't hang out with illegal aliens. It seems pretty simple. Just don't hang out with illegal aliens. Don't harbor them at your house.
It would actually be quite difficult because how do you, when you're walking down the street, if you see somebody, are you able to tell me if they're an illegal immigrant or not?
No, but I mean, if you're living with someone or residing with them or they're at your house, you're probably going to know their alienage to some degree. They might tell you. Or if you don't know, that's fine. But again, hey man, this is what it takes to go ahead and enforce immigration, and this is why every politician before Trump has been too pussy to do interior immigration, because people like yourself, no offense, get emotional and say, oh my God, this is so fucked up. But the reality is they're doing their jobs, and this is what it takes to do that job. American citizens are going to be detained and have their alienage determined and figure out what their nationality is, and if they're an American citizen and they didn't commit a crime, they're going to be released. Oh well, this is a part of the game. It is what it is. American citizens get detained all the fucking time pending immigration violations or immigration inspection.
First of all, I don't think it's wrong to feel emotional about somebody else's rights being violated in a country that
we don't know that
I live in.
We don't know that.
But we know that they could be happening. We know that they're even if we're not
so
talking
you're
about rights. Hold on.
Pissed off about it could be.
Let me take this back. So even if we're not talking about rights under the Constitution, right, or under the law that's been passed, we live in a country where we're supposed to be free American citizens. Correct?
Yeah.
And in that case, I don't think that I should be able to be detained for a reason of there might be some illegal immigrants here. First of all, these people that are illegal immigrants, the crime that they've committed is that they're here illegally.
Yep.
That doesn't necessarily mean that they're causing any danger to themselves or anyone around
That's
them.
irrelevant. They're here illegally and they're going to get deported.
That is absolutely relevant.
That's
because
not
if
relevant.
my rights are going to be violated, I want it to be for a good reason.
Okay. Again, if you're in a house with an illegal alien and the cops bust in and they find that guy to be an illegal alien and you were there, well, it would make sense that they would want to figure out your nationality with an immigration inspection, and if you're a U.S. citizen, you're going to be released. Simple.
Again, I don't think that's worth it to live in a world.
It doesn't matter what you think then, because
it absolutely matters because we're talking about
that's
this
what
being
law
wrong.
enforcement. Here's the thing. Once again, law enforcement is going to do what they're going to do, and quite frankly, someone like you who isn't a law enforcement officer that doesn't understand immigration to a degree, it doesn't matter what you think. They're going to do what they need to do to get their jobs done.
How does it not matter if I think?
And to be honest, the American people voted for this. So people want mass deportations. This is what it takes to get mass deportations. This is one of the main things.
A portion of American citizens voted for this. There's a large portion who did not vote for this, who is against it. That's fine.
Well, here's the thing. The majority voted for it because Trump's predominant campaign motive was to get immigration under control. No new wars, and immigration were his two main things. So by definition,
there were a lot of things.
Well, the two main things that he ran on and campaigned on. So the reality is the American public voted for this by definition.
Not necessarily. I don't think we can say that every single
They won by
thing,
a majority.
I don't
and
think
not only did they win by a majority, we absolutely smoked
How are
Kamala.
Trump's approval ratings doing now? Because clearly there are less people that approve of him than when he was elected.
The approval ratings are going down for other reasons.
For other
Epstein
reasons.
files,
Which means
Israel.
that the things that he campaigned on are now not being done the way that his voters wanted him to do them.
No,
so
the immigration is being done.
Because Trump is doing it, it's something that his voters wanted.
The immigration is what he's been doing. He promised that, and he's been doing a pretty good job. 90% less border entries. He's enforcing immigration in the interior, which is unheard of, never seen before. It's obviously not easy to do because people get emotional and passionate about it like you are right now. But the reality is, this is what it takes to do mass deportations in the interior. You are going to run across U.S. citizens. You are going to run across aliens with these citizens. You're going to be detaining everyone. You're going to determine alienage. And once you figure out they're a U.S. citizen and they didn't commit a crime, you're going to release them. That's how it goes.
Yeah, listen, first, just because you keep saying I'm emotional doesn't mean that I am any more emotional about this than you. I think we're having a pretty constructive conversation.
But the problem here is that you're letting your emotions dictate what you're going to say, when in reality I'm just operating from a logically sound, pragmatic standpoint of how law enforcement is going to deal with this immigration problem, and the American people voted for this. So
the way that I'm looking at this is an American citizen who believes that there is instances in which the rights that I have as an American citizen to not be unlawfully detained by law enforcement. When I say unlawfully, it's more of unjustly, because I don't believe that it's just for American citizens to be detained just because there are illegal immigrants in our country who are causing no issues.
Well, look, you can not agree with it, you might not like it, but that's how it's going to go.
But it's wrong.
No, it's not.
I think from those points, I would say that's wrong. Obviously, we're not going to come to a conclusion about that, but that's pretty much all I have to say on it.
I'm a former immigration agent. I understand how it works. I would not be breaking the law by doing that. I'd be obviously prioritizing officer safety. And once we determine they're a U.S. citizen and they didn't break any laws, they get released. That's how it goes.
Is the law what dictates what's right and wrong?
In this land, yes.
That's all that you go off of for what you think is right and wrong?
We are a nation of laws.
So your only opinion about what is right is wrong is
your entire premise of why you came up here in the first place was regarding unreasonable search and seizures, which is relevant to law. So it's
relevant to law, but it's not about specific policies. It's about what the country was founded on. It's about beliefs. Those are ideological beliefs. They're not based on policies.
Look, my friend, if people are here illegally, they're going to be deported. If they're encountered alongside U.S. citizens, the U.S. citizens are going to be detained pending the investigation. That's how it goes. I don't know what else to tell you. You might not like it, but that's how it is.
It's wrong. Thank you.
That's your opinion. And that is a wrong opinion. All right.
Hi there.
What's up?
First off, I wanted to ask you something.
Yep.
What's your background?
In what way? Race, age, where I'm from, like
Race, nationality.
My family's from Sudan.
Oh, your parents are from Sudan?
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. If ICE came knocking on your door right now, aren't you an illegal citizen? Aren't your parents legal citizens? If ICE came knocking on your door right now and they end up taking your parents who are not from this country and get deported back to Sudan, how would you feel about that? Are they American citizens? Let me ask you that question right now, because if you're right here defending ICE right now, especially when your parents are from Sudan and when you're a child of immigrant parents, and you're right here on this Penn State campus right now defending ICE, how would you feel about that? Let me ask you that right now.
Okay. Number one, to get a top secret clearance like I had to go through a very thorough background check. And that included immigration background. Why are you rolling your eyes?
Go on.
Yeah. So, like, you asked me the question and I'm answering it, even though it really isn't relevant. But
well,
that's
just
fine.
because I rolled my eyes doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, well, whatever.
Just answer the question.
Okay. This fucking guy, man. So, it's very simple. I used to work for HSI as a special agent. I had to get a top secret clearance to do that. In order to get a top secret clearance, they're going to do a thorough background check on me and my immediate family members. My family and my parents are U.S. citizens. I was born here. My parents naturalized.
Right.
So they did everything by the book. And if they didn't, I wouldn't have been able to get that clearance.
Right.
So I don't really understand your... I guess you're trying to come with a scenario.
Because it's not just that. It's the fact that you're justifying ICE and what they're doing wrong right now. When literally, I bet you can't even speak on the fact of Alligator Alcatraz right now. What about
they closed it down, didn't they?
Huh?
They closed it down.
I am not aware of that, but
yeah,
okay.
They closed it down.
They did not. I don't think so, but sure.
They closed it down.
All right, sure. What about the fact of like American citizens being deported right now, especially students here that have visas and stuff like that? That Trump is trying to get rid of.
American citizens are not being deported.
Yes, they are.
Okay, what they are doing is they're denaturalizing U.S. citizens that lied on their applications to get that citizenship.
That's not true.
They're not deporting American citizens.
Yes, they are.
With that said, also,
what about the man from Maryland, Lewis? Can't really remember his name, but like Lewis. It was all on the news of.
So CNN. Number one,
he got deported, and he was an American citizen.
It's impossible to deport an American citizen. The only way you can do that is you must denaturalize them.
Why would they denaturalize them?
That's a very difficult process, and to denaturalize someone...
That's not a difficult process. Anyone that is born here under the Constitution has citizenship.
Okay, so if they
under
were born
the 15th
here,
Amendment.
if they were born here and they have U.S. citizenship, that's different than someone that naturalized.
But he was born here.
Okay, so he's not going to get deported.
He did get deported, though.
Impossible.
Whatever.
Impossible.
Whatever. What is your opinion on the Trump administration, by the way, and all of that's going on right now?
I mean, there's some things that he does right and some things that he does wrong.
What do you think he's doing right?
I think immigration, he's doing a good job with the immigration.
How is he doing good with immigration when literally there is not even when literally he hasn't even set up a process for people that are trying to get into this country legally? It's hard for them to get here.
Well,
so
we have an immigration problem
right?
of people coming in, so we're trying to stop the bleeding first before we just allow mass immigration.
Wait. What's wrong with people trying to get in, especially legally?
If you don't have borders, you don't have a country. So in order for... Oh, you don't believe so? Okay, that's fine.
I know. All right, bro.
If you don't have borders, you don't have a country. It's just a free-for-all. And obviously a lot of people want to come here, and there's people that are on the waiting list to come here, trying to do it legally. If people want to hop the border and then hop the line, that's a problem. So we have an immigration problem in America. Trump is fixing that. The American people voted for that.
No.
And the American people are getting what they voted for.
Let me just say
when it comes to immigration.
Let me just say something right now. Majority of the American people mostly voted for was the economy due to polls and statistics.
Well, when it comes to Trump,
and
the two main things he campaigned
on immigration has
was
been going down.
Foreign policy and wars and immigration are the two main things that Trump campaigned on. Obviously, the economy was a part of it as well.
He did not even campaign on foreign policy. Literally, he doesn't even know a fucking way to handle the thing that's going on in Gaza right now.
Are you not aware of the fact that he literally said, "I'm going to end the war with Russia, Ukraine"?
The war is still going on.
I know, but here's the thing.
He hasn't done shit.
People
are still dying in Ukraine, pal. He's literally lost our allies with NATO.
But under the Biden administration, no one talked to Putin.
Yes,
they didn't even try. No, they didn't.
They
didn't talk.
Tried his very
they did not
best.
talk to Putin for years. There was no talking between Putin and the Biden administration. Kamala Harris was there a few weeks before Ukraine got invaded in 2022. So at least Trump opened up dialogue and met with Putin to try to make something happen. Also, Trump on foreign policy, he literally campaigned no new wars, trying to end the war with Russia. And he just ended the war with Gaza and at least ended the genocide temporarily.
And literally, Israel about to attack. Israel might attack Gaza.
And they
again.
violated
That's what's
it again.
Gonna happen.
They violated it. I agree. But again,
so you agree that he did not end the war?
I agree. I agree that he's ended it temporarily. There's a temporary ceasefire right now where the people of Palestine or Gaza are at least able to get resources and aid and everything else like that because now the trucks are coming back in. And for the most part, the bombing is gone, even though Israel does a whole bunch of bullshit. But what I am saying is that he absolutely did a better job than the Biden administration could have done. So I think he was a far better candidate
especially
than
when
Kamala
you cut
Harris.
funding to Ukraine, and then that's a good job.
What was that?
He literally cut funding to Ukraine.
Well, yeah, it's a retarded war.
That's not what? Wow,
it's a retarded war.
How is it a retarded war when literally Russia is literally trying to build up?
I mean, all wars are stupid, but I mean, we shouldn't be funding Ukraine's war either.
Yes, we should because that's our ally. We are a country, and also we are the greatest nation in the world right now. That like literally we can go help out the Ukrainians right now. So like, I'd rather America be funding a war. I'd rather be funding Ukraine to help. I
don't think we should be funding any wars.
Well, okay then.
War is a costly business. It's a big problem, and it creates a lot of issues.
So you don't think that we should be helping our allies? Is that
no?
What you're trying to
NATO's
say?
a scam. We need to pull out of NATO too.
How is NATO a scam?
NATO's a big fucking scam. We've been putting in a ridiculous amount of money into it. It doesn't really benefit us. It benefits all these other countries.
It actually did benefit us.
It does not benefit us. Ever since World War II, like it doesn't really benefit us. It doesn't.
It was just for World War II.
It doesn't. We put in a ridiculous amount of money in versus other places, and quite frankly, it's not worth it. And on top of that, let's be honest, the United States and NATO in general have been expanding closer and closer towards Russia's border. We instigated this war. That's a problem, and that's kind of why we're in the situation that we're in.
Do you know why Do you know why we're getting members from like that are like that border Russia? Because like literally Russia is an aggressor. That's why. Well, they literally just invaded Ukraine.
We've been lying about expanding NATO. We've been lying about expanding NATO for many years, many administrations.
Which we should, especially against people like Putin and Xi Jinping as well, that are mostly
I don't think it's smart to escalate towards another nuclear power. I don't think that's intelligent. And getting into a war with Russia isn't going to benefit any of us. And defending Ukraine...
It's not getting into a war. It's the fact that we are, as America, who we are right now, we're the world's police. We can literally fucking...
No, we need to stop doing that.
Yes, no, we should not.
We need to stop trying to be the world's police. Wars create problems. And it's why we're in so much debt. And quite frankly, it's not worth it. I don't think a nuclear war with Russia to save Ukraine is worth it. I think we should let Putin have the territory that he has,
No,
come to
they
some
should
kind of
not.
peace agreement, and it is what it is. So,
No, they should not. I highly recommend you to read.
well,
a
the
history-
American people think different. The Ukraine war is highly unpopular. It's one of the reasons why people voted for Trump is because he said that he will open up dialogue with Putin again, which he did. Obviously, he can't end the war as quickly as he had hoped, but I do think that he's doing a better job than the Biden administration did, who wouldn't even meet with Putin. And he's ended several other conflicts, and he's a way better candidate than Kamala Harris. I mean, I'm assuming off of what you're saying, you probably voted for Kamala.
Well, actually, I was a former Republican, and I regret being a Republican.
Fantastic. But she lost, so it is Trump's America now.
I don't care.
Okay, well, she lost.
I highly recommend you read a history book about the conflicts that have been going on.
I highly
with-
recommend you read her book where she admitted that Myron Gaines and Andrew Tate hurt her ability to win the presidency.
Yeah, because people like you are
Page
very
176. Well, yeah, we're influential. And we don't need more zesty motherfuckers in the Republican Party anyway. If we're going to be honest.
First of all, assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Welcome to Penn State.
Thank you very much. We
Uh,
got the lights coming?
I just want to get
We're going to turn the lights on soon.
I just want to get your opinion on a few things.
Yeah.
First of all, you said men are superior to women.
Yes.
I find that they're better than us at stuff. We're better than at
What are
other
women
stuff.
better at us then?
Women?
Yeah, what are they better at?
Okay, emotional intelligence is one.
What is emotional intelligence defined as?
They're willing to learn, accept other stuff. They're willing to listen to us more. That's one thing. They have better memories than us. Let's not deny that. You personally wouldn't.
I'll be honest, these things you mentioned are gay. Nobody cares about them.
Yeah,
like,
obviously.
you know what I mean? Like this
for
is
us as men,
it's gay, bro. Like no one. How does it benefit society to have a better memory in some situations? Or
it's
I
better
can
to
listen
be
to you
accept-
complain more.
raising
Like,
people.
I would argue. I would rather complain to guys because when you talk to men are
Yeah.
problem solvers.
Hey,
If you complain to a
agree
dude,
that.
hey, here's my problem, they're gonna give you a solution.
I-
When you talk to women, they're not really in a position to help you because women live life on easy mode.
Hey, I agree with that.
Women care about listening to problems just to be heard. They don't care about solutions.
Exactly, I agree with that fact. But at the same time, I think that what I think a woman's better than men at is raising. You wouldn't want
At what?
And raising children.
That's not true either.
Wait, you would,
Statistically speaking, single fathers do significantly better than single mothers. So women suck at everything. If we're going to be honest here, the best chefs are men. The best when it's a single parent household, you're likely to be better off as a man with a male leading versus your mom. And that's just the reality. And the reason why this is so offensive is because we never tell the truth when it comes to women, when it comes to blacks, when it comes to gays, when it comes to Jews. Like, we just got to be honest here. Women suck at almost everything when compared to men. The only thing they can do that we can is have kids, and they even need us for that. So outside of sex and reproduction, women are effectively useless, if we're going to be
we need
honest.
each other for that. That's my opinion.
Yeah, they do. But the reality is, outside of sex and reproduction, women are effectively useless.
Okay, I agree with you. My opinion
You know-
is superiority is not the right choice. But
Women are
another-
superior. Men are superior to women in every way.
Okay, that's
Both biologically, mentally, most geniuses are men. Most millionaires and billionaires are men. We create the infrastructure that women get to enjoy. Women don't invent anything. Actually, as a matter of fact, if we had to rely on female ingenuity, we'd still be rubbing sticks together for fire, to be honest.
a lot of things that women invented are attributed to men.
What did they invent?
Okay, we can agree that nuclear energy is perfect. The first person to discover radioactivity was a woman, but she died.
So let me say this. So you're saying that women discovered nuclear energy?
Not energy, radioactivity, which led to it's a.
What's the name of the inventor?
I forgot.
All right, chat, fact check that. Chat's gonna fact check that. If it's not true, they're gonna cook you.
And another guy.
What was that?
There was 3 people. Marie Curie, her husband, and another guy.
So there was a man involved?
Yep.
As usual.
2 men. 2 men.
2 men and 1 woman.
All right.
As usual.
But
2 men,
we
1
should
stealer.
Credit the woman. My point is credit the woman.
So even in that case, they didn't invent
Okay.
anything.
Besides that, another thing I'm trying to ask you about. Okay, I've heard of Charlie Kirk. I agree a lot with what he says. A lot of what he says is right, 100%. Do I dislike him? I dislike his views on Islam and his disrespect towards us.
Okay.
Why do you agree with why don't you?
I don't agree with his stances on Islam. I do think that there's some problems where people want to openly worship and disturb others, but I don't think Islam is a threat to America the same way he says. I would argue that Jewish supremacy is a bigger threat to America than Islam,
Okay.
because they actually hold positions of power in the United States. So this whole thing of like, oh no, Islam is the next threat. That's Jewish propaganda.
Open worship, I can agree with you, is 100%.
Yeah, playing the Adhan 5 times a day, praying in Times Square, disrupting others, like that's just not cool, especially when you have plenty of mosques that you could pray at. Or you could pray quietly in another public area that isn't disturbing everyone.
I'm 100% with that.
But yeah, I would argue that that's propaganda that they push.
All right, agree.
All right, anybody else? No, of course. Good discussion. So yeah, guys, we're talking about Jews control America, women are dumb, blacks commit a disproportionate amount of crime and are victims, as you guys can hear from the earlier. What else? The T people should not be able to get guns. We're on YouTube. I'm keeping it somewhat clean. Chad, don't worry. We're going to turn the lights on here in a second. Okay, cool. We got one light. All right. Shit. So now you guys can probably see me. And then we're going to get the lights also over here. What's up, man?
Hey, how are you doing?
Good. Let's get some light on our brother over here.
Hey, so I appreciate everything you're doing. It's been big, and not a lot of people are willing to step up to it.
There's a lot of people out here.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to ask, who do you think is going to step in for the right wing now that it's so corrupt? Like who in your mind?
JD Vance probably gonna run next time.
Well, so if you get what I'm saying, like not people that are like
not politicians.
Well, not somebody that's like corrupted or like disturbed by like what red pill do you think is coming in next? Who's
politically?
Yeah.
Oh, the Jew pill.
Well, no. Who that you think is base is going to come in next to politics?
Okay, you mean as in like an actual politician, or what regard? Are we talking about political commentators, influencers?
Yeah,
are we talking about
as a politician.
A politician?
Yes.
Well, I think it's going to take a couple election cycles, to be honest with you. Someone like a Thomas Massey, I like him, but I just don't see him.
Do you think you'll see it in your lifetime?
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so. I think one of the biggest problems we have in America is the ridiculous amount of Zionist influence in our government. It's one of the biggest problems that we have.
Do you see so you think JD Vance will get the next election?
He's going to run. He's probably going to run.
If you had to put all your earnings on a winner, who's winning?
I don't know. I mean, it depends on who the Democrats, put in. It's probably going to be Newsom or AOC, but it's too early to tell. But I'm pretty confident that they're going to try to hand MAGA over to JD Vance after Trump is done.
Cool.
No worries, man. No, thank you. All right. Who else wants to step up to mic? We got some lights on now so they can actually see you guys, which is good. Shout out to the team in the back, Sean and them. We're out here grinding.
What are your thoughts on the Gaza ceasefire?
It's a temporary ceasefire. Israel's already broken it. The only good really that's coming out of this is like it's not going to be a prolonged war anymore, hopefully. But there's going to be skirmishes here and there. And Israel, even when they had their ceasefire in Lebanon, they kept bombing them. They're still bombing them now. They want Hezbollah to disarm. That's never going to happen. But at least aid is getting in so the kids can eat and, the innocent people aren't suffering as bad. But
what's the next move you want to see us do?
What America do? Cut aid to Israel, cut aid to Ukraine, no more wars. Right? Ukraine is like that offers us no fucking benefit. I don't know why the hell we're even involved with Ukraine and NATO. And Trump is been trying to pull back our involvement in it, but we're in so deep, man, it's just like it's an L.
Yeah.
So cool. It is what it is. All right. Anybody else? Come on, guys, don't get scared, man. Have a discussion or a debate on anything. What's up?
Hey, so I have a question about the up-and-coming election.
Okay.
Do you think that with the political figures that are coming out of the right that are said to be red pill, do you think that might be more destructive for the GOP for someone to run third party and then split the vote on the right?
So you're saying, is the mainstream of the red pill bad for the GOP?
So my argument is that I know for political change you need trailblazers to kind of like change the GOP and for the Republican Party to be altered. But do you think that the Republican Party would then concede a lot of elections while the Republican Party tries to figure out if it's more on the red pill side of like anti-Israel or the historic pro-Israel side that has been since JFK?
I mean, only time will tell. I'm hoping that we can change because let's be honest, before MAGA, the GOP was like, the the boring party, like, you know what I mean, the war party, the neocon party. So I'm hoping that we can not go back to the old GOP. MAGA's kind of on its last wheels here anyway. It's a shell of its former self. So we'll see what happens. But I definitely don't want to regress to the, you know, old neocon GOP that we had under the Bush administration and prior.
Right. Okay, thank you.
No problem. All right, man. Thank you. All right, anybody else want to come on the mic? All right, what's up?
First of all, what's good? How you doing?
Yo.
All right, shout out Cut by Dak. And next of all, who do you think the GOAT is, MJ or LeBron?
I don't watch sports anymore, but I would say I don't watch sports anymore, but I would say Michael Jordan.
All right, thank you.
For sure. Anybody else? I see a couple of you guys in the back. Any women want to get on the mic? Okay, all right.
Hi.
What's up?
Just want to start by saying that I am a proud Republican and
Okay.
I am a heavy supporter of ICE. But, well, I just want to I heavily disagree with your, like, portrayal of women. Like,
Okay, what do you disagree with?
Well, I mean, they are very capable if they put their minds to it just like everyone else.
Capable
Like,
of what?
Well, anything really. Like Charlie Kirk and Benny Johnson, for instance, they like heavily praise women and like their wives particularly. Like they claim that they are extremely capable. Also, when you look at other commenters,
Well,
a lot of them like.
I'll be honest with you. I'm a lot further right than Benny and Charlie. I don't look at women as equals at all. I think they're subordinates. I think they should be following a man who's superior to the men every way. And that's just kind of how the world has been. I mean, even, you know, if you look at, because I know they're both devout Christians, it says in the Bible, says in the Quran, men are the leaders, head of the households. And just because someone is capable doesn't mean it's optimal. Let's be clear about that. Can women do a lot of the things that men do? Of course, but men do it better.
Well, I mean, that just seems like a very pessimistic thing to say.
It's the truth. It's not pessimistic, it's reality. Men are
Okay.
better than women at everything almost.
Okay, I guess we can agree, disagree. Like, have a nice night.
I mean, what are women better at men at?
They're pretty.
They're pretty?
Never seen a man prettier than a woman.
No, well, here's the thing. Like, that's not a metric that they both can compete in.
Well, I agree,
women
that's-
are admired. That's their main agency and their value is their sexuality, which deals with their looks.
Well, it all depends on skill and work. Like a woman can work to be an amazing cook or an amazing carpenter. Or
Okay,
an
just
amazing-
because they can be amazing doesn't mean they will be amazing, and it doesn't mean that it's optimal. What I'm saying is that when things are compared, men are better than women at almost everything. And to say, oh, well, they're prettier, well, that's their job, right? Like their job is to be. This is a woman's main. It's their only agency is their sexuality, which deals with their looks.
Well,
And the fact that it's taking you so long to figure out something that they're better at adds more credence to what I'm saying. Men are better than women at everything. It's just that no one likes to say that because
it doesn't feel like looks is an agency. It's like a perk you have.
It's their main agency and perk. If they didn't have it, no one would care.
I disagree, very much. Like women.
Okay, let me be honest with you, bro. No girl's gonna fuck you for simping for them. I'm telling you. Like no girl's like sitting here saying like, oh man, this guy's defending me, Mo, at night. Like, you know, women actually prefer guys like me that tell them they're stupid. Like they want guys that like don't give a fuck about their opinion. The reality is that women are attracted to men that are superior to them. One of the most honest displays of superiority is not giving a fuck about their opinions.
Okay, I guess we'll have to agree, disagree. Have a nice night,
Okay.
Myron.
I mean, that's fine. Yeah, guys, this is why nice guys finish last. I'm telling you guys, like, sucking up to them like that is not going to get you what you want, man. Be an asshole, it'll work out better for you.
To Jackson Butler, Maddie Rodriguez, and everyone from Union City, New Jersey. What do you think of Cash Patel?
I think he's doing a lot better than Chris Wray. I think he's a better FBI director. Right now, obviously, the Epstein files is a big debacle, but the Epstein files don't just fall on him and Pam Bondi. It falls on Trump. It falls on Tulsi Gabbard. It falls on the entire IC. So that is one of his bigger blunders. And then also with the Charlie Kirk case, they need to expose more information because the public trust is at the rock bottom. But compared to other FBI directors, he's been far more transparent. And that's a fact. He's declassified 33,000 documents. Meanwhile, Chris Wray only declassified 13K. right, in 4 years versus Castro's done that in 10 months. So there's no doubt about it that he's more transparent. I think he's better, but there's still room for improvement.
All right. Also, shout out Fake Mink.
All right. No problem, man. All right. Anybody else? Today's topic. Women are dumb. Blacks commit too much crime. Indians stink. It wasn't 6 million. Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Who do you think did 9/11?
The Jews, the Saudis, and the American deep state.
You think they all worked together to do it?
Yes, but it was kind of done in the left hand doesn't really know what the right hand is doing, but they know that they're doing something.
Yeah.
In a compartmentalized fashion.
If you look at the Pentagon, there was no plane left over.
Well, no, it definitely got hit by a plane.
You think so? The Pentagon?
Absolutely, it did. We know this from the Zakawi trial. The only person that was actually charged with the 9/11, he went to trial. They showed the government evidence. They showed the planes. They showed the burned bodies. A plane absolutely hit the Pentagon.
All right. Thank you.
No problem. Anybody else? We're out here, man. We're riding this thing till the wheels fall off. We're not stopping. I'm back to Miami tomorrow, so take your shot now. Well, not literally, please, but you guys know what I mean. What's up?
You think Michelle Obama is a man?
I don't know, and that's the scary part. I don't know. I don't know.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. What's up with these first ladies and having penises? I don't know what's going on. It's like I guess they couldn't become president, so they said, let me just be a first lady instead. Right. What's up, man?
It's going to sound like a joke, but I'm being dead ass. As a young black male, how do I get it out the mud and pave a way for myself, especially in a society that's,
Sure, just don't behave like the black guys that came on the mic before you. It's no one else's fault besides yours. Take 100% accountability. Don't blame the government and expect the government to save you. There's nothing holding you back from success. If anything, as being a black, you have more opportunities for success than anybody else. And, just look down and keep grinding and go hard. I would argue that, young men nowadays have more opportunity than ever before with the internet and the free information that's out there. My generation didn't have access to any of that. You guys can go on YouTube and literally learn how to get a skill and make a lot of money on the side. So nothing is holding you back besides yourself. And I know that sounds cheesy and cliche, but it's I got to keep repeating myself and saying that because we got so much let's be honest, we have a lot of retards in the black community that, everyone blames systemic racism and, white supremacy and all these other fucking bullshit lies. No one's holding you back besides yourself.
Would you say you've found your passion in life?
Yeah, I miss my old job. I enjoyed being a federal agent back in the day. But, I think with what I'm doing now, I'm able to help a lot more people. I'm able to scale my reach and, help guys and see the reality because I have a more unapologetic approach to my message. Obviously, that rubs a lot of people the wrong way. But I think it's really the only way to break through the bullshit is, hey, this is what it is, right? And sometimes you got to use foul language to get people's attention, and that's kind of what it is now.
And to add on to that, how did you find your passion? Because I feel like that's a lot of things that we deal with today is that not really knowing what you want to do in life.
You got to try things out. Yeah. You know what I mean? You're not gonna do the first thing and be like, I love this. You got to try things out, experiment. Get experience, and you'll find something.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
No problem, man. All right. Well, who else? Was that somebody has something? Go ahead. Come on. If you disagree with any of my viewpoints, you think I'm a bigot or whatever. Somebody. You said somebody was there?
I can wait.
Okay.
Yeah.
Somebody, Beans, you said somebody was someone trying to come on? Oh, okay. I thought we had a liberal or something like that in the back. Okay. What's up, man?
All right. So, Daddy Gaines.
Pause.
67 or 41?
67 what?
Or 41.
41 what?
You serious?
What are you talking about?
Where you been, bro?
I don't know what this guy's talking about.
67 or 41? Come on.
I don't know what you're talking about, man.
You're not even gonna answer?
I don't know what you're talking about. I truly don't know what 6741
means. All right, thanks, Daddy Gaines. I appreciate it, bro.
All right. Very weird. But all right. I guess I'll have to put that into Google later on. What's up, man?
Hey, man, nice to meet you. How you doing?
Yeah. What's that?
How you doing?
What's
Can
up,
you hear me?
brother?
Good. So I was listening to the video for a while now, and nothing against you. I just want to clarify some things. Are you gonna, let's say, like, are you okay with the terms misogynist, racist, anti-Semitic? You accept all that, right?
Accepted in what?
As in, you're a misogynist, you're a racist, you're anti-Semitic.
If you say so.
I mean, up to you. But I'm just wondering, because I'm not against you or anything. I'm curious for myself. I want to know, like, what do you think the right way to make sure that we put equal authority in our government so that it's not mostly run by Jews? We make sure that most of the crimes are not committed by African American individuals. Like, what do you think the solution is, really?
Well, we need to get harder on crime. As far as dealing with the Zionist problem in government, we need to basically make it where if you have a dual allegiance to another country or another citizenship, you can't run or have any type of political power.
So you want it to be like more white supremacist, or?
It's not about being white supremacist. It's about being nationalist.
Nationalist? Okay.
Yeah.
So does that allow immigrants to come in and still?
No, we got to limit immigration.
Limit immigration? I understand that. So you also agree with the fact that people should work on their own country. Like me coming in from India, I'm supposed to be making sure my own country's better rather than coming here.
Yeah, I mean, I think, if we're going to bring in foreigners, they need to have a skill set that we can't get here. And when I say that, I mean as in not H-1B visas where people can code.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying people that have a skill set that we truly can't have here. Scientists, medical breakthrough individuals, maybe people with spectacular skills, maybe an athlete or some shit like that, musician, talented individual where we truly can't find that skill here and they got to come in. Like O1 visa status, basically. I just don't want foreign labor that takes jobs away from Americans, which is what the H-1B visa basically did, which mostly is Indians.
What do you think about me coming here as a child and building my skill set here and then going back when I'm an adult?
Well, it depends. Like, how did you come?
To my parents' job. They had a visa. And now we have green cards, so we're green card holders.
Well, I mean, I don't like, if they're exceptional, they need to stay here and improve this country. But, because they used our resource to get that way.
That's right.
If they're just coming here and just getting a degree and going back, and it's not a skill set that we're losing that is like, vital, then yeah, they can go back.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah.
So what do you think? I want to talk about what your concept is on women as well. You said that they're complete insubordinates to us and we're superior in every way, but don't you think that they have valuable emotional intelligence? Because
No.
No?
This whole concept of emotional intelligence is a bunch of... Should we just get off YouTube?
I think that they have a better
insubordinate
role in
or
to men. Like, why are they so below men?
Because feminism teaches them to not be subordinate. Feminism teaches them that they're equal, and if not just equal, but superior to men.
Yeah, I disagree with that. I think we're equal. I don't see why we can't be equal.
You think men and women are equal?
In some ways other than others. I'd say...
Okay, in what ways are we equal?
In ways of emotional intelligence, which I know you disagree with, but...
Well, emotional intelligence, I'll be honest, a couple of you have thrown that. Emotional intelligence is just a faggotry term, if I'm going to be honest. No one has a real definition for it. It's a bunch of faggotry. One person might define it as like being able to understand your emotions. I don't know how that benefits society. Like, oh, I can recognize that I'm happy. Oh, I can recognize that I'm mad. Other people look at it like being able to control your emotions. There's no real definition of it. It's fairly ambiguous depending on who says it. So, and that creates obviously a problem because we can't even define it. So, look, man, we just got to be honest. Like, if you rely on women as an equal, it's going to punish you down the road. Like, looking at women as like an equal counterpart is literally going to do nothing for you but fuck you up later on. Because if you look at a woman as an equal, that's too close to her being a superior. And if she looks at you as a superior, if she looks at you as an inferior and she's a superior, which is what ends up happening, guys pedestalize women too much. Inevitably, when you pedestalize someone, you raise them above you, she's going to look down on you. Women are never... it's never to be in a relationship with a woman. It's never good to be in a relationship with a woman when she thinks that she's better than you.
Okay, that's in the context of relationships and power. But what about in society? Don't you think women are useful members in society in terms of?
Yeah, they could be, but I think their most usefulness in society is having kids and being mothers.
What about educators?
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of teachers and professors here at Penn State are women, and I highly respect them.
And that's why college campuses are filled with faggots, because we have like a whole indoctrination camp on a lot of these campuses. And that's why we have, look at some of the guys that came up on the mic earlier, like blaming everything on systemic racism, oh my God, it's the systemic racism. We need to be in war in Ukraine. Like I voted for Kamal. Like when women run these institutions, it fucks everything up, unfortunately.
Well, what about all the people who are right, Confederate, and still agree with women educators and professors?
What if?
Do you think they're conflicted? They have cognitive dissonance?
Guys that are right wing and agree with female professors?
Yeah, having female professors. Do you think that if you're right wing, you shouldn't have women as leaders?
Well, again, I understand that we live in 2025 and women are going to enter the workforce. I understand that. So what I'm saying is, we need to not make it such a priority for women and educate them on becoming mothers instead of chasing a career. I think it starts with education. Okay. Obviously, women aren't going to all leave the workforce immediately, but I do think that we need to go back towards getting more women to become mothers and trying to bring things back to as close as they were before. Now, are we going to do it 100%? No, but I do think that we can work towards it to a degree.
So ideally, you don't want women to work towards improving the economy?
Well, I think that that's better suited for men.
Okay.
And I think that's better suited, and I think by having more families, that would actually improve the economy more than women in the workforce.
Is it because you just think they won't do as good of a job as men?
Well, that's a part of it, yeah.
But they can still serve some roles to the point where they can improve our economy,
yeah, they can,
right?
yeah, sure. But my problem isn't with that. My problem is that women pedestalize and focus on education and earning an income over building families.
Okay.
And that creates bigger issues for the greater society.
You don't think they can do both?
Very difficult for women to do both. Extremely difficult.
But it would be impressive if they did, right? At that point,
yeah,
where
but the problem is that a majority of women can't do that.
Okay.
We're talking about, less than 5% being able to chase a career, be successful in that same career, while simultaneously being able to maintain and have a family. Very difficult to do.
All right, I guess that. I see your view. One more topic.
Yeah.
Could we talk about how you feel that black people are basically raised into crime?
Okay.
So you said that.
All right, so then, you know what? Just end the stream then, and we'll end. Yeah, end the stream, and then on Rumble, and then we'll just, because this one's being recorded, so we'll end that one. And sorry, go ahead. Last question.
Okay, so you said that black people have an option to go into crime and selling drugs and things like that.
Yeah.
But you don't think that based on the lifestyle that they grow up in, they don't see another way out, where they're like forced to go into this kind of thing, where people influence
Well, no
them?
one's ever forced. And that's, again, that victim mentality I was talking about.
Yeah.
You have a choice. And, if you go ahead and you sell drugs and do dumb shit, you're going to deal with the consequences of that. And the problem is a lot of times these guys commit these crimes and they don't get arrested once. They get arrested 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times.
Mm-hmm.
So it is what it is. Not everybody's going to make it. That's the unfortunate reality. But you absolutely do have a choice, and there's always another way. It's just that a lot of these guys want to be criminals. They're lazy. They don't want to, work hard, and that's what ends up happening.
It is a victim mentality, but
victim mentality.
When all their friends are doing it, when they don't see another option, don't you think it's better to bring awareness to make sure that they see there's another way out?
Well, I mean, with the amount of information that's out there for free, where you got guys like me saying don't be a fucking retard and sell drugs, and you can open up YouTube and see it for free, and many other motivational speakers that are even better than myself, maybe. It's just not a viable excuse anymore to be degenerate. It just isn't.
But similarly, there's people who know there's a suicide hotline out there but choose not to call it. Shouldn't we tell them there's these options to look at instead of saying that they're just victims? They don't know that they can do this.
Well, again, and this is the problem with the left and liberals in general, is we make too many excuses for dumbasses. If you're going to be a criminal, you're going to be degenerate, you're going to do stupid shit, you're going to get stupid prizes, and that's just reality, right? So, no one forces you and puts a gun to your head and says, sell this crack. Okay. But black people make it sound like that's what it is. And this is why they're so insufferable, and why people really don't like being around them or listening to them complain, because all they do is complain about, systemic racism, white supremacy, whatever. But I would argue that blacks have more opportunities than everybody else, damn near. Minorities in general have it better than a lot of people.
Yeah, I get that. All right. Thank you. Thank you.
No problem, man. Cool. Anybody else? Anybody? Well, remember, we're still recording on thing. Come on up to the mic. Go ahead. You'll be the last one.
She's saying no. You were talking to a black gentleman earlier, and you were talking about basically whatever the reason may be where the black community is has its problems or whatever. Why don't you think somebody's kind of come up and put a stop to it and say no, we're actually gonna go the other way and try to fix a lot of these issues and I don't know, just
So
try to.
why aren't more blacks in the community like stepping up saying we're going to fix the issues?
Yeah.
Because they're stupid. It's very simple. Like the problem with the black community is they prioritize fucking bitches, doing drugs, rap music, gangs, violence, and then when people like me come around and say, well, that's fucking stupid, stop doing that shit, you're acting like monkeys, they say, oh, you ain't one of us, ooh, you ain't black. I'm like, all right, bro, like I don't even want to deal with you motherfuckers. So the problem is that they're ignorant and they don't want to do better. So they'll use every excuse to disqualify what you're saying. For example, if a white person says there's too much crime or we need to fix this, you're white, you're not one of us, we don't care. They disqualify the advice. If someone like me comes along, oh, well, you're Sudanese, you're not one of us, get out of here. The problem with a lot of blacks is they care more about where the information is coming from versus the content of the information. This is why they're a bunch of dumb fucking niggers a lot of times. And that's what it comes down to. So that's the problem with the black community, if I'm going to be very honest about it. They don't want to hear anything. And even if it does come from one of the people their own that actually is a black, that's a foundational black, hell, he can even have ties to slavery, and he says, yo, we need to do better, they're going to say, fuck you, you coon, you Uncle Tom, we're going to do what we want to do. And they're just hard-headed, and that's why they will continue to fail, because in their eyes, they're above criticism and above reproach. And this is why a lot of people don't want them around, they don't want to deal with them, because they're annoying.
Okay. Thank you.
Fair enough.
Oh, WSS, by the way.
I appreciate that, brother. Yeah, I say the quiet part out loud, man. So, all right. I think, YouTube shut us down. AKA YouTube, they shut us down. So, yeah, we can take pictures after. Good. You good with that? Yeah. All right, we'll close it up. All right, cool. Hope you guys enjoyed the discussion. We did what, like 6 hours of streaming today, pretty much? This is nothing. This is another day in office.